Hello friends, hope everybody's doing well. As promised, here's part 2 of my recent vinyl finds. 80s, new wave, alternative, synth pop, electro. Really good stack of records. These were purchased from my local record stores. They had a special 50% off. I seen it on Facebook and I just couldn't pass it up. So I made my way to the record store not knowing what I'm going to find. You know, sometimes when you go to like the rock section, you go to the new arrivals. They also had a new wave section right there, but somebody was looking through it. And I'm always thinking to myself, are they going to pick out something that I really want and I miss my opportunity? Not really. They still had all the good ones left, and I like to show it to you for this video. So as promised, here we go with part 2. Okay, so we're going to the new wave section, and I pulled this one out from 1980, and this has been on want list for a while. And it's an OG copy of the Talking Heads, Remain in the Light. This has Once in a Lifetime, which right now is my favorite Talking Heads single ever put out. The entire album is incredible. Every song has its own flavor to it, and you could see how the group was making way until the 80s music scene. So they kind of changed their format up just a little bit, you know, from Fear of Music. They came out in 79. Life in Wartime was on that one. The following year, they came out with this album. So very impressed with this for sure. Now, after 1980, we had two members of this group. It was Chris France and Tina Weymouth. They left and they formed a group called the Tom Tom Club in 1981. Here we go with Tom Tom Club. This is their self-titled LP. This is very unique, very artistic cover, and it has the number one iconic song that came out called Genius of Love. Very famous song. Massive sales on the 12-inch single. A lot of radio airplay. Still play it today. I hear it quite a bit. Also, another good track on here is called Word Rapping Hood. So this is Tom Tom Club. Two members of the Talking Heads formed this group. This is a U.S. pressing, but actually it was, I think it was recorded in the Bahamas. So kind of a little island fever right there for you. A couple years later, in 1983, the Tom Tom Club released Close to the Bone. Another artistic cover by very, very talented artists. So that's what I have there. The same year, the Talking Heads came out with one of their most iconic albums ever released, and it was released in 1983. And here we go with the incredible, very iconic, so many hits, Speaking in Tongues. Burning Down the House, Slippery People, This Must Be the Place, and also My Girlfriend's Better. 4 incredible songs that had a lot of airplay. 12-inch singles was spawned from it. Very good. This original copy, this is one of the ones where I waited a long time. I didn't force myself to buy the reissue repress 180 gram. I kind of waited it out. I was patient for years, really, till the price was right. So I pulled the trigger and finally got Speaking in Tongues by the Talking Heads. There's another album that I want to get. I don't know the name of the album, but I can say the name of the track is called Flowers. It might be the one that has the monkey on the front cover, but I'm not too sure. You know, all Talking Heads jacket covers are very artistic. So I think that's the one I'm looking for. So if you know what it is, and if you have it in your collection, please leave a comment below and let me know how the album is. Do you like your album? Do you like Flowers? Do you like the other songs on there? So I appreciate that. Next up, we're going to bring it to 1985. This is Bryan Ferry, Slave to Love. This is a UK pressing. This song right here, Slave to Love, is actually on side B of Don't Stop the Dance by Mr. Bryan Ferry. And we all know him from Roxy Music. Kind of the crooner, love his vocals of new wave music. So it's a really good one to have. Now, I told you before, I like to show some LPs that some of these singles were spawned off of. So off this LP, we got Mr. Bryan Ferry, Boys and Girls. Came out in 85. Don't Stop the Dance is on there, along with Slave to Love. And really the whole album's really good. If you like his vocals, you'll love this LP. We're going to bring it back to 82. In 82, I love this song. This is a dance version. This is ABC. Yeah, this is, what's the name of the song? The Look of Love. Part 3 in the dance version. Look of Love came off the iconic album called Lexicon of Love. This particular one was produced by Trevor Horn. Remember from the Art of Noise. And he did a lot of other producing other artists as well. So this is off of Mercury in 82. And now I like to show you the LP. There it is, ABC, Lexicon of Love. Came out in 82. Next one's on my want list. The cover is not VG Plus. It's kind of a little bit less. It's got some water damage on it. But thank God the record sounds good. So I tell you my other videos, never judge a book by its cover. Even if the jacket seems worn or has some water damage, the vinyl might be okay. So sometimes you pull the record out, look at it in the light, make sure it's not warped, got any deep scratches on there, and sometimes you might get lucky. Well, I got lucky with this one. 1989, The Cure, Love Song. It's got the extended remix on here. So I was very pleased with this one. It was 50% off, so I didn't pay that much on it. It's a US pressing. 1989 on Electro Records. Really good one. Back to 82. I've had this on a 45, but I never had the 12-inch single. And this particular one is off of Island Records. Here we go with Malcolm McLaren with Buffalo Gals. And the other track on the other side is She's Looking Like a Hobo. So really good with the Supreme team. It's iconic with all the scratch version. Is my favorite. Now the record album, or you can call it an EP that came out, and this is one of my favorite iconic records to come out. And this particular one came out a year later, 1983. There we go, Mr. Malcolm McLaren. Do You Like Scratching? With the boombox on there all fixed up with the horns. She's Looking Like a Hobo's on here. Buffalo Gals on here. And Do You Like Scratching is on here as well. And there he is, Mr. Malcolm McLaren. Really good, iconic record. Good old school. Good scratching in there. The next one, I've always seen it on Discogs, but I never took a chance on it. And that's one of those records that if I get it cheap from a record store, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. But this next one just so happens to be one featuring one of my favorite freestyle artists of all time, Mr. Stevie B. But the name of the group, or I think it's a girl group, called Friday Friday, featuring Stevie B. What's strange about this, I was looking, I said, it's got a McCullough record jacket, company jacket, but the label is Midtown. And Midtown is actually a sub-label of LMR. The LMR is where Stevie B released a lot of his records, Spring Love, Party Your Body, and the list goes on and on. But also, Midtown, this label right here, he released Party Your Body, which I don't have in my collection. I really wish I could get that one. But this is a Midtown company, is the parent company is LMR, and it's distributed by McCullough Records. So there you go. Good freestyle, kind of electro song, really good dance. So this one's really good. I think it came out 87. Now, speaking of Stevie B, this next album is his first. It's my favorite. And here it is, Party Your Body by Stevie B. Spring Love is on here. Dreaming of Love. This is really good. A good iconic freestyle LP that I have in my collection. This record's been fetching more money these days. So I did buy it years ago. Had an opportunity to get it at a good price. That's one of the ones where I just pulled the trigger and got lucky. And yeah, this is one of my all-time freestyle albums in my collection, Mr. Stevie B. Going back to 81, New Wave. And I like this group a whole lot, and it reminds me of another group. So this group right here is called Heaven 17. This is their LP, Penthouse and Pavement. Came out in 81. Love the cover. They got instruments everywhere, business suits. They're in the city. Now you see the big mixing board on the back. And they got two really good songs on here. We Don't Need This Facious Groove thing. And also Penthouse and Pavement is really good. I actually got Penthouse and Pavement on 12-inch single. But when I seen this in there, 50% off. The record was really clean. Kind of VG++, I would say. But man, it was really good. So glad to have that one in my collection. Going to Electro. This particular one came out in 88. And this one is a collectible record. And the company that was released is called Traction Records. Traction Records is from Jackson, Mississippi. This is Kuiper. This is Throwdown. Really good, heavy hitting vocoder, robotic action, bass. It has it all. Good samples. Hear a little craft work in there. And it's really good. Kuiper, Throwdown, off of Traction Records. This particular one came out in 88. It was also featured on his LP. And his LP is kind of a collectible record as well. Here we go. Kuiper. The name of his album is called Conceited. There it is off of Traction Records. So it's got Throwdown, but Throwdown on this LP does not sound like Throwdown on this 12-inch single. This is much better. It's got so much more flavor to it. And this is more of a short version, but it's got Conceited on here as well. So yeah, good electro rap, old school right there, Mr. Kuiper. Going to the West Coast Electro. Couldn't believe this record was in the bin. It was in the hip hop section. Came out in 1985. Here we go with the World Class Wrecking Crew. This is Juice. This is off of Crew Cut Records. This is Dr. Dre, Yella, Lonzo and the Boys, juicing it up with the robotic voices, electro, scratching. The background music kind of sounds like a video game. It kind of reminds me like Space Invaders. You can hear that in the background, just going on and on and on. It's just such a high energy West Coast electro. This was released in '85. In '84, prior to this, they released Surgery. So if you get Surgery, that's a good, highly collectible record. Came out in '84. Then their next big hit was Juice in '85. Synth-pop. We're going to go with Red Flag. This one's called Russian Radio. The different thing about this one, I got Russian Radio by Red Flag, but I got it on Enigma Records. This one is off of Synthesized Records company jacket. I don't have any other records off the Synthesized label, but this one right here, I just had to get it. Did a little research on it. It was actually their first pressing before Enigma. So adding to the collection of Red Flag, this one is also featured from their really good, outstanding, probably one of the best synth pop LPs ever is Naive Dance. If you ever get opportunity to get that one, it's got the whole album is great. They even got razor-made versions of their tracks. So get opportunity to get that one. But this one right here is the first pressing of Russian Radio. The last record, and I can't believe I never had this one in my collection. And when I seen it, I just had to pick it up. I wasn't really satisfied with the condition, and it had some creases in it, but the record sounds great. To me, this record is underrated. I didn't know it was this good. And I've listened to this artist for years. Here we go with Dead or Alive. This is Youthquake. This has everything in it. Spin Me Round. It's got, what else it's got? Bang, Your Lover, Lover Come Back to Me. And it's got some other good tracks on there. From start to finish, it's that high energy synth pop that was so good. Some songs are kind of housey a little bit, but they still had that high energy synth pop flavor to it. So I was very impressed with this. Never had in my collection before, but now I got it. So sounds great. So that's the last record from part 2. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had the opportunity to listen to part 1. So I'm trying to get back into the record collecting again, and trying to get all my local record stores. Looks like they got some good material coming in. So I always keep on the lookout for things on my want list and things that I don't have in my collection, but I want it. And I'm glad to get it one day. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.